5. Take your calls on 0861987000 a little bit later on. But for now, we thought let's go further into the story around the verdict of the ICJ, and to get analysis, we are joined by the acting director of the School of Law at UNISA, that is Professor Angelo Dube. Prof, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Thank you, my brother, and I'm well. I hope you're well too.
Yes, no, we are. I mean, I have to start with what is trending, and I'm not too sure as an academic if this is your issue. Ugandan judge who was, on the side of Israel, first female, African female, and a lot of people are now lambasting her on social media for siding with Israel. We are talking here about Julia Sebuntinde, who voted with Israel on every provision that was out there. I mean, how would you explain it to people? Because people are now dragging the whole country down with them. I mean, what are the dynamics there?
Interesting. Yeah, I saw the trend. And look, judges serve not as representatives of their country per se, but they are serving humanity, they are serving the court. They don't represent the countries they come from. However, for the ordinary public, it's difficult to divorce the nationality of the judge from what the judge just did today. So that in the voting patterns were a shock to most human beings who love humanity, who hate crimes against humanity, who hate genocide, who want to see suffering come to an end. That is why people are now making a trend. Yeah. I could prefer perhaps a guess and say that, look, she comes from a country where there are rebels, and rebels have been at the forefront of conflict with the state troopers there. Now, a state like that would like to see rebels as the bad guys and not the state itself and its instruments, such as its soldiers, being the bad guys. So it could be that she was influenced by her own background, coming from a country where soldiers have to fight rebels almost on a daily basis. And the government, their stance is to see wrong on the part of rebels only, and not wrong on the part of the army. Yeah. So if she was to be seen to be siding with the Palestinians, it would not look too good, I think, perhaps to her mind and to also those around her. Yeah. But that's just me preferring a suggestion of what could have transpired. Yeah. We expect her to have been impartial. We expect her to have been not biased in this particular matter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I'm amenable to your suspicion as well, Prof. Let's talk about this case. Some people are saying, look, it's a victory on paper, but practically speaking, I mean, the Israelis will continue to do that which they do, knowing that on their side, they've got the Americans, they've got the Germans, they've got the English as well. Is it that easy?
Look, I would not classify it as victory on paper per se. For us international law scholars, we celebrate today because it adds to the rich jurisprudence of the ICJ in terms of making the world understand what provisional measures are, how they operate, and what they seek to do. Especially in the context of a state that was favored by the West, where they bona fide believe that the case would go their way. They've been ridiculing South Africa all along. They've been calling us anti-Semites. They've been calling us terrorists because they believed they were on the right side and the law would side with them until the judgment was delivered, the order was delivered, and they realized things are not going their way. Having Britain and the US and Germany behind them is not surprising. These are colonialists. They have raped, pillaged, and killed over the years, and they were never brought to account. Germany massacred the Herero and the Nama in Namibia, and to this day they're pretending as if nothing happened, like they just went out for ice cream and came back. No responsibility whatsoever. The US, we know that it created the fiction called Israel so that it could pursue its own interest. That is why today we have Israel as the blue-eyed poster boy of the U.S. It will defend it. It will even abuse its seat at the United Nations Security Council, where it uses its veto power to oppose anything that seeks to hold Israel to account. So those who are saying it's a victory on paper, you could understand where they're coming from if you look at those dynamics. But international law was enriched today. The jurisprudence of the court was enriched. We have one more case that strengthens the fact that South Africa was not insane or looking for attention when it went there. South Africa had obligations. It only wanted Israel to uphold its own obligations, and the court agreed with South Africa. It's a victory for humanity.
Does it make it any different? Does it make any difference that the ICJ was not explicit on a ceasefire? Because that's what some people are raising as an issue.
The ceasefire issue was very confusing. I was listening to it earlier on, and it took me time to really understand. I'm still going to read the judgment and clarify it even further. But I wouldn't put, yes, we expected the ceasefire. We wanted the ceasefire. It would have done a lot in terms of halting everything that is going wrong right now. But it's not a total loss per se, because the obligation of Israel to prevent and punish genocide and to desist from carrying out all those acts which amount to a violation of Article 2 of the Genocide Convention, as well as the call by the court upon Israel to prevent and stop incitement to commit genocide. In other words, stop these habits of Israelis going around calling the Palestinians human animals, and we must crush them. We must not leave anything. We must grind everything to a pulp. The court has issued an order that you must stop that incitement to cause genocide. So even in the absence of a ceasefire, we still have very strong provisional measures given by the court, which are still going to be monitored through the court monitoring system, the first being the report within a month, where South Africa will also get a chance to read Israel's report and make sense of it and see if it is indeed complying with its obligations under the Genocide Convention.
Do you think Israel and its allies are going to make us pay, literally speaking, because of, issues around investments and influential companies and all of that? Because I cannot imagine Israel being impressed with the outcome today.
Yes, this is a test of sovereignty, because both countries are sovereigns and they're equal. They're simply holding each other accountable as using the mechanism provided by the International Criminal Justice System. And it is the right of both states to actually use that mechanism, and the duty of both to hold each other accountable. Are we going to pay? We might pay. International relations, unfortunately, is not without consequence. We are on the right side of justice. We are on the right side of humanity. But we will definitely be in the firing line as Israel will invoke its investment mechanism and its international political mechanism, international relations mechanism to make South Africa pay. But this might just win us new friends in other quarters for the boldness we have shown and for our commitment to Ubuntu and our commitment to a just world where there is no impunity for the atrocity crimes, especially the crime of crimes, genocide, especially when it is committed by victims of the same thing under the hand of Hitler, who are today accused of doing the same thing.
We shall see what happens. Prof, thank you so much for your insights. Much appreciated.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much, Professor Angelo Dube there from School of Law at UNISA, 20 minutes after 5.
News and information in all